Hey, what's up guys? It's me, LSP Spectrar, here with another video in Wayward Terran Frontier. This time we're continuing our series on ship editing, this time focusing on structure. Um, it's a pretty simple concept. Once you learn, you'll understand it fairly well. It's very simple to learn, so let's get to it. But first, as you may have noticed, there's no webcam. I've decided recently that the webcam wasn't really adding anything to the video that I could think of. So unless enough people say in the comments that they want the webcam back, I think I'm just gonna stop using it. Just because I don't feel like it's adding anything to the video. But if you disagree with me and you'd like to continue to see my face during these videos, please leave a comment down below, and if you want it, I will bring it back. So let's talk about integrity and structure and all that. So first things to look at are these numbers right here, integrity and inertia. Those are the two numbers that we'll be focusing on with structure. First off, inertia. So each ship, depending on its size, will have a different amount of inertia. It's a very set number, you can't change it, and it doesn't change as you add components. The trick is to make sure your integrity is higher than your inertia. Now, when you add components to the ship, your integrity is lowered. So, to compensate, you need to add structure. Now, you have a lot of structure options, as you can see. We'll go over those in a minute. But each ship comes with a set amount of integrity, and this is so nice. Back a few versions back, I know way before Zero Falls, it was for sure like this. The ship came with 0 integrity, and so you not only had to compensate for the stuff you put on the ship, but you also had to put a ton of structure in. Now, granted, there were a lot of 1 square pieces of structure that you could put in that is not available now, which made it a lot easier. But the nice thing is you have a set amount of integrity. So if we come in here and take out all of this structure that you see in here, let's make sure we got all of it. There may be one piece that I'm not seeing, but as you can see, this is the amount of integrity the ship now has. It is obviously less than inertia, and you may be asking yourself, why is that a bad thing? Well, I'll tell you in a second. But first, putting on these modules obviously drops this. So if we come into here to our engines and we delete this, you can see it jumps back up. Now, for the most part, and I don't think this is the case on every ship, but usually without any components, the integrity matches the inertia. And so obviously when you put more stuff on, it drops, and you can drop really low. But for the most of the ships I've seen, the integrity is fairly high without having any structure on, and it's usually higher than the inertia. Because let's face it, when you're flying with no components, you don't need much because you can't fly. Period. But so it's when you start adding components you get below. So let's show you what happens when you fly with less integrity than you have inertia. So let's save this, and we'll hop to it for the test ship. So you come in here and you spawn some ships. You press the F keys to spawn some ships. Get them mad at you. Get a little closer. So what will happen is you'll take damage from the front, but you'll start to notice damage starts happening on the inside of your ship as well. It's a little bit harder to see with the new damage animation that happens. Let me see if I can try to find. So you'll notice, yeah, see right here, this inside component is getting damaged when really nothing should be damaging it. So essentially, just getting hit from the outside of your ship is causing the inside of your ship to start to fall apart because your integrity doesn't match your inertia or isn't above, which can cause some very serious problems when you start to get hit with a lot more than what I'm getting hit now. So if we save and exit, come back, go back to our designed ship, let's put some more structure in. Now, one of my rules of thumb, and I probably won't get this right because I wasn't paying attention to where the structure was in this, but the rule of thumb that I like to follow is I like to put in more structure than was initially there, than what is needed. Sorry, not initially there, what is needed. Because let's say you take some damage and some of your integrity is lost. Then you still have some left over. The more, if you have a little bit more, your ship, I just feel like it stays together. I don't know if this is 100% sure. I don't know if the integrity is just solid no matter what pieces are missing. But to me, from my testing, it feels like everything stays together a lot longer, even if I'm missing parts of my ship, if I have some extra integrity here in there, some extra structure for my integrity. And so that's kind of what explaining integrity is. I'd like to go to, I'm going to skip to another section and I'll describe the different pieces a little bit more. Okay, so we're in this big ship, so I have lots of space to move. But if we come into the structure tab, you have lots of structure. Now, the bigger the structure, obviously the more integrity it's going to add, and you can see how much it's going to add in this little window that comes up. So you can kind of decide what you need. I mean, sometimes you might get some monstrosity pieces. Oh, that one's small. Let's see if we can find a really monster one. That's pretty big. Or you might find some really small ones. Now, you may be wondering, how the heck am I going to fit this in? This is the important part. You need to make sure you plan for little bits of room for integrity. But George Holmgren has made it a little more simple for you by giving you different shapes and sizes. So let's look at some of the special ones. These are all the ones that have gaps. I'm going to switch to this so there's less around my cursor. So these are some gaps. Now, these ones leave some room. Now, these are all solid pieces. This is one solid piece. This is. You get the point. But essentially, they're leaving you room to do stuff. So this one will fit around a hallway. This one can kind of fit at the end of a hallway, but also leaves room for maybe some conduits and such. These ones leave room for wiring, hallways, wiring to go through. It just components even in between, you know, fits around components faster. But essentially, it gives you some space to dodge and weave in between things, which is extremely nice, guys. So very nice. Now, the other group I want to show you is, and this is more of caution for you, this is about as small as the integrity gets now. It used to be where it would literally be about that big was the smallest you could get. But because each ship comes with a certain amount of integrity, making it easier for you to add it in, it gets rid of the small, which I think is a good trade-off. I think it's a great trade-off, to be honest. I'm really happy with it. But you just got to be careful and know that this is about as small as you're going to get with integrity. And so you need to make sure you have room for that, which can be difficult to plan in and can cause you some heartache, especially when you need this much and you're trying to add it in. I mean, that's a really big piece. Obviously, in a big ship like this, it's going to be a little bit easier. But just be sure to plan for that. In fact, usually what I try to do is before I start doing anything, I try to pick some key locations where I think I'll want to fit some integrity in. So let's say we got some big corners. I'll probably end up putting an engine here, but let's throw some in some corners just to be sure, because you never know. And this is just me doing the scroll wheel, and it flips it around a whole bunch of times till you get the orientation you want. I may take one of the big hallway units. Let's try to find that one. Where is it? Right here. Rotate it on its side, and I'll try to put a couple in, you know, along where I think some hallways are going to be. And that way, as I'm building, I can move it to where it absolutely needs to be, and I can say, okay, I have enough integrity, I can get rid of this piece and add some more modules in. It just makes life a little bit easier for you when you're building your ships, to kind of plan this in a little bit. So again, you got your special ones, and you got your regular ones, and look at the assortment you have. You've got so many options, guys. It should be no problem for you to be able to fit what you need into a ship while being able to maneuver around stuff. And so I want to keep this video short and sweet and simple. So I think I'm going to stop it there. And I really, if you have any more questions, I really feel like I've covered this, and I feel like it's a very simple subject to understand once you kind of hear it. Sometimes it's a little complicated when you haven't heard anything about it, and so you know nothing. But hopefully this has helped you. If I've left anything out by chance, please leave it in the comments below, and we'll discuss it in the comments. Or if it's a big enough issue that I left out, I will make another video talking about it. I wanted to let you guys know, in my last video, I left a little comment under the video saying I want to add another game to this channel to help bring more eyes to Wayward Return Frontier, to get more people to know about it. I've decided on a game because nobody responded. You can still respond with your suggestions if you want. But I think I might do Kerbal Space Program because it's kind of in the same genre of building in space, and I did enjoy it. However, you probably won't see a video from it for a little bit because I'm going to try to get good at it again. That way my videos aren't just me being awful. But if you want to see me being awful and being a noob in Kerbal Space Program until I relearn it, let me know and I'll release videos anyways. But other than that, I hope this helped you. You guys are awesome. You guys are great, a great audience. You guys are the best, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.